Imagine living about 100,000 years ago. You're a 14 or 15-year-old girl inside a cave with your family. One morning, you wake up. You get up to go outside the cave, but you notice something strange. Your legs are bloody, your body hurts, and there's no wound on you. There's no doctor, no book, no school, not even anyone who has ever told you that something like this would one day happen. If you were in that girl's place, would you think you were sick, or maybe that you were dying? Now, the main question is this: how did the women of early humans deal with their periods? If you enjoy these kinds of stories about real and strange lives of early humans, the evolution of the human body, and the secrets of history, make sure to like and subscribe, because here, every week, we talk about the kinds of questions you probably never heard answered in school. First of all, let's put one misconception aside. A lot of people think periods are something related to modern life, but that's not true at all. Menstruation is almost as old as the human species itself. When the first Homo sapiens were living on Earth, when Neanderthals were hunting across Europe, when agriculture, cities, and civilization still didn't exist, women's bodies were already going through roughly the same cycle they do today. That means millions of times before the first city was ever built, the first period had already happened. But there was one very big difference between then and now: knowledge. Today, most girls have at least some idea of what's going to happen before their first period, from their mother, sister, friend, school, or even the internet. But imagine none of those things existing. One day, blood suddenly comes from your body without any wound. It's completely natural that you would think something terrible had happened. Anthropologists believe that for many girls in ancient times, the first period was probably an experience full of fear, confusion, and questions. Maybe some thought they had become ill. Maybe some believed they had been cursed. And maybe some even thought they were about to die. No one knows exactly what those girls felt, but just imagining it is strange enough. Now, a harder question. When there were no sanitary pads, what did they do? The short answer is, they turned to nature. Archaeologists and anthropologists believe early humans probably used whatever they could find around them: soft mosses, large leaves, dried grasses, animal skins, soft leather, and later, once weaving developed, simple pieces of cloth. Interestingly, even today, some indigenous communities in different parts of the world still use natural materials to manage their periods. This shows that humans have been finding solutions for this for thousands of years. Here's an interesting point that many people don't know. Some scientists believe that women in ancient times probably didn't menstruate as often as modern women do. Why? Because the age of first pregnancy was lower, the number of pregnancies was higher, and the period of breastfeeding lasted much longer than it does today. When a woman is pregnant or breastfeeding for a long time, the menstrual cycle usually stops for a while. For that reason, the total number of periods a woman experienced in her lifetime was likely lower in ancient times than it is for women today. But the story didn't end with the bleeding itself. Almost every tribe had a story for this event. In some cultures, a girl's first period was celebrated. For them, it meant the girl had entered the world of women. It meant she could one day become a mother. It meant she had gained a new social status. Sometimes they held ceremonies for it, gave gifts, or painted the girl's face with natural colors. In other cultures, it was the complete opposite. Menstruating women had to live separately from the rest for several days, sometimes in a separate hut, sometimes outside the living area, because people believed menstrual blood had strange powers. Some thought it brought bad luck. Some thought it ruined the hunt. Some even believed it could anger the spirits. Today, we know none of these beliefs have any scientific basis, but for thousands of years, people truly believed them. So when we ask ourselves, how did the women of early humans deal with their periods? The answer isn't just a few pieces of moss or animal skin. This is a story about fear, curiosity, human survival, culture, and the efforts of thousands of generations of women to come to terms with one of the most natural events of the human body. And perhaps the strangest part of the whole story is this. The girl who, 100,000 years ago, inside a cave, looked with fear at the first bleeding of her life, was probably emotionally far more similar to today's girls than we might think. Thanks for staying with me till the end. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe because in the next one, we're going after another one of the strangest questions in the history of us humans.